Tahoe's red, Golly is blue, and I've got my balls out for this toy review. At the risk of sounding like someone from the Three Virtues podcast, Bionicle. It's really hard to imagine now, but back in the late 90s and early 2000s, LEGO was in a bit of a financial slump. I mean, I think we can all blame LEGO Mania for this.
Yeah, it's on the way, more fun to play, another case of LEGO Mania!
Oh dear god, that stupid jingle is still stuck in my frickin' head. In hopes of combating their horrendous marketing choices, LEGO acquired the rights for LEGO Star Wars, because the prequel trilogy was coming out around that time. They did not see what was in store for them. But then, over the horizon, there was a light that shone bright with hope. With promises of financial recovery for the company, a tale of robotic warriors commanding the elements and appropriating Polynesian culture and eventually resulting in a lawsuit, and I'm pretty hazy about this part of the story, but long story short, enter LEGO Bionicle, a kick-ass theme with a deep-ass lore. Trust me, if any of you want to get into the Bionicle franchise, expect to be at least shoulder deep in lore. That's how much of it there is. Like, seriously. It's one of the main reasons I write fantasy and science fiction together. But I was born in the year 2000, which means I never got the chance to experience the first views of Bionicle. In fact, the very first Bionicle I ever got was Toa Nuju, the Hordika Toa Nuju. I mean, I always kind of knew about it because it was in my LEGO magazines that I got at the time. But yeah, I missed out on the original Bionicle toys proper. Enter the convention known as Brickworld. Brickworld is basically a massive convention for AFOLs and young fans of LEGO alike to come together and share their wonderment and gaze on at massive brick-built creations beyond your wildest imaginations and budgetary constraints. I myself would love to be involved in Brickworld, though I honestly am not very skilled with my bricks. I'm very embarrassed to admit. Anyways, like all conventions, there's of course a bunch of vendors selling out-of-print stuff. And this was one of my finds, the Gahlok-Kal. Now, in Bionicle, to make a very, very dense story short, the Borok are a swarm of creatures that kind of look like a fusion between a Metroid, a Roly-Poly, and a, Beetlejuice, maybe? I don't know. But basically, they were the first sort of massive army the Toa faced in their quest to defeat the evil Shadow Emperor Makuta. Makuta had awoken these creatures, which were essentially serving as sort of... So, the island that the Toa fought on, Mata Nui, was essentially the giant face of a robot. And that robot, technically the creators of the robot, known as the Great Beings. I told you this is all very condensed down from the original version. But essentially, the Great Beings had created these creatures, these roly-poly looking suckers, to act as sort of a cleanup crew. They would go across the island and sort of make sure that it was all cleaned of life and whatever before Mata Nui rose back up again. Unfortunately, this endangered the lives of everyone else who was working maintenance inside of the robot, as they had evacuated from the robot onto its face, and the Borak were destroying and also mind-controlling the populace of the island. Okay, so after that, the Toa, the six Toa, Tahu, Gali, Kopaka, and Onua, Pohatu, and Liwa, descended underneath the island to the Borak Caves, where they found the Barag, the two sort of queens of the swarm. After an intense battle between the Toa and the Barag, the Toa were turned into the Toa Nuva. And that's when the Gahlok-Kal were introduced. They were essentially 6 soldiers, one from each of the minor Borak swarms, that were mutated so they'd be able to serve a more advanced purpose. Some of them had new elemental abilities, others had telepathy and the ability to speak in full, unlike the swarms, which were just like, we must clean, we must clean. And all of them were able to curl up into balls. The Gahlok-Kal is supposedly in control of magnetism, which doesn't make sense as it's evolved from someone who controls water. Anyways, my Gahlok didn't come with any instructions. Fortunately, I'm a bit of a wizard with LEGO, so rebuilding it and taking it apart were no small challenge for me. Construction time took me about 5.5 minutes, and I've sped it up here because I don't want to bore you all. Basically, I don't feel as though you have minutes of footage of me building a LEGO kit. But that does bring me to another interesting point, the gimmick. And of course, to demonstrate why this gimmick exists, I must bring in my first mock to ever appear on the show, the Demonstrationator. So as you can see here, the Demonstrationator has a little removable mask. In fact, all of the Bionicle do. Some do this better than others. So what you're supposed to do with the Borak is you're supposed to press this, you see this little lever here on the back of the Borak, all of them, including the Gahlok-Kal, and this little rubber band. What that's going to do is you're basically supposed to press it down, and then it will sort of bash the head like this. Finally, it can be an extremely fickle mistress, as this footage that I took earlier last week will show you. And then what we're supposed to do is pull open this head cavity and take out the Krana. The Krana is basically the lifeblood of each Borak, except for the Gahlok-Kal, who could function independently even without one. And you're basically going to take the Gahlok-Kal and place it onto the Toa's face. And now it looks like they're possessed. Whoopity-boopity-boo! So yeah, gimmick that doesn't work half the time. Another thing that doesn't really work for this figure is its articulation. Look at its sort of like shoulders. You've got sort of very limited articulation, and you don't even have any knee joints. Same goes with knee joints, elbow joints. His head can't turn a bit unless you turn the entire body with him or her. And yeah, this is the only thing that you're supposed to do with him. I mean, it is kind of fun. What distinguishes this from the rest of the Borak is its color scheme. Silver and blue, whereas most of the other Borak were just 2 tones of the same color. How do I overall rate the Gahlok-Kal? Well, I think they're decent. I mean, they're okay. I have tried rebuilding several from the LEGO bins in my basement, which are completely and horribly unorganized. But overall, I think it's pretty decent given what they were working with at the time. Overall, I'd have to say that the Gahlok-Kal is worth having in your collection. But how much would I pay for one? Well, I paid $10 and it didn't come with instructions, but it did come with a Krana, which is something that it doesn't usually come with. So I'd say around maybe $9 to $10. $11's probably pushing it. But yeah, I wholeheartedly recommend the Gahlok, or any bow rock for that matter. And if you don't like blue, then don't worry. There's a green one, a red one, a black one, a brown one, and a white one too. So you've got your options. And with that being said, that's Firebite27. Over and out, and asking you to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and all the rest of the stuff that people do in weird calls to actions like this. Okay, bye!